Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hello guys, welcome to the next video in CMA Part 2 lectures by Global Finex. So in this video, we are going to see CMA Part 2 Section C, which is Decision Analysis. This section is for 25% of your CMA Part 2 examination. So let me give you a very quick brief about this section. So if you see section C, there are only three topics, three units rather, right? So sir, isn't this one of the smallest ones? Absolutely yes. One is cost volume profit CVP analysis, the other one is marginal analysis, and then you have the third one, which is regarding the pricing. So three topics which are basically straightforward. So then why 25% of the score is given to this? See, you are planning, you are sitting for the certified management accountancy, right? CMA is regarding management accountancy. Management accountancy's main focus is on costing. You know, how do you calculate the cost of a product? How do you price the product? How should you evaluate the margin versus markup on a product? How many units you should produce to break even? How many units should you produce to get a fixed desired level of profit? So your entire core area of expertise is related to costing and management accountancy. And this section, decision analysis, is one of the core areas of management accountancy. So CVP analysis, pricing, and marginal analysis, these are the core areas of expertise for management accountants. So that is why this area is given 25% of the weightage, and you will find lots and lots and lots of MCQs in this area. So very high amount of practice is required for section C of part 2. So you will be spending at least 30% to 40% of your overall preparation time only for section C. Exam focus also will be like that only. So pay attention to this particular syllabus area. So now what are we covering in the first unit of section C, decision analysis? First unit is CVP analysis. CVP stands for cost, volume, profit. What should be the cost per unit? What are the different costs? Marginal cost versus fixed cost, variable cost and fixed cost. And then volume refers to how many units you have to produce. Profit refers to if your cost is X and you are producing Y number of units, then what will be your profit? Okay, the relationship between cost, volume and profit is covered for you in the first unit of section C. See, so how do we define this particular? Okay, so how is this going to help us? See, let's say if your manager asks you, I want to sell this particular product X, okay, and it is going to cost us $10 to manufacture. We are going to incur a fixed cost of $50,000 for the period, and we are going to get a margin of contribution margin, sales minus variable cost. So contribution margin of, let's say, $5 per each unit. So how many units we have to produce to recover our cost and to break even, no profit, no loss? So the manager is asking you how many units we should produce to break even, to have a situation where I don't have any profit or don't have any loss. Basically, I recover my cost. So how many units? Isn't that a basic question that a manager would like to know? Like, how many units are minimum required to break even? It's a very basic question. So that is how this particular topic, CVP analysis, is going to help you. So first topic itself is break-even analysis, single product and multiple products also. Like you can see in section, topic C here, analysis of multiple products. If your company is having different products, like for example, if I take Coke, so Coca-Cola has multiple different products, right? Coca-Cola, they have Coke, one of their major products, and then they have Thumbs Up, then they have Sprite, they have Pulpy Orange, right? So there are so many, entire Minute Maid wing of it. So they have so many products. So when a company is dealing with multiple products, how do you calculate the break-even analysis and CVP analysis? And second one is profit performance and alternative operating levels. So basically here we'll talk about how many units you should produce to make a desired level of profit. Like the manager asks you, I want $10,000 profit this year, so sorry, this month, then uh, how many units I should sell, all that stuff. Then in the second unit of section C, we are going to talk about marginal analysis. What is marginal? Marginal stands for additional. So if a company is producing one extra unit, one additional unit, then what will be the impact of that? What will be the additional cost, which we call as your incremental costs, okay, or relevant cost basically. So what will be the extra cost that will be incurred for, producing an additional unit? So in this marginal analysis, we are going to discuss about few decision makings. What are those decision makings? So first, let's understand, before taking decisions, we need some inputs. What are those inputs? The first one is sunk cost, opportunity cost, and other related costs, related concepts. So sunk cost means something that has already happened. Like I have already purchased a bike. So now I am contemplating on whether to take a trip. Okay, let me make it in a different manner. So I want to travel from, let's say, Hyderabad to Sri Salem. So I know that it is around 280, 250 kilometers, let's say an approximate 250 kilometers. So now I am trying to decide between going by bike or going by a bus. So what I would do if I'm doing a pure financial decision making here, not considering the fact that it is a forest area and a tiger zone and all that stuff, I'm going to keep aside those factors. But if I'm going purely by the finances, I know that bus ticket would be there. Okay, and what else? Yeah, that would be it. But when I talk about bike, I'll have to worry about petrol, and I'll have to worry about depreciation on the bike, right? So now here you can understand, if I'm deciding between whether to go on a bike or whether to take a bus. So in this decision, I'm saying that bike cost is 2 lakhs, bus ticket is 200 rupees. So I would rather spend 200 instead of spending 2 lakhs. Does it make any sense? So 2 lakhs is your bike cost, which you have already invested. You have already bought your bike. It's done. It is an old cost. It is already done. You don't need to buy a new bike to go to Sri Salem, right? You have an existing one. So this is called as a sunk cost which has already been incurred, which is not relevant for taking a decision. But petrol, yes, that is relevant for taking the decision. Depreciation, that's a tricky concept which we'll discuss in detail in the lectures. I don't want to cover everything in a index video, right? All right. So sunk cost, opportunity cost, and other concepts related to those areas. Then marginal cost, as I just told you, one additional unit if you are producing, what will be the extra cost that you are going to incur? And marginal revenue, for every additional unit, how much additional revenue you are generating. Remember, the optimum point, the best possible revenues for the company, best profitable position for the company is where marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost. A point where your marginal revenue is equal to your marginal cost, that is an optimum point where your company will make the maximum profit. Okay, why and all we'll discuss in the lectures. Next, special orders. See, your regular orders price would be different from your special orders price. Like for example, if a student is coming to me and asking, sir, I want to enroll for CMA lectures, so that's regular, there is nothing special, so you can pay the prescribed amount of fee and you can enroll for the classes. But if a student is coming to me and saying that, sir, I want to enroll for your batch, that is okay, but I also want some XYZ special consideration to be given. Like for example, maybe they are from an MPC background, they did not have any commerce background in their graduation or in their intermediate, so they want to learn the basics of accounting, basics of costing, basics of economics and all that stuff. So for that, I would not be charging them the regular course fee. Obviously, I'll be charging a little bit extra for that. So that is called as a special order, where the product that you are selling or the service that you are offering is slightly different or maybe more different from your regular offering. So how would you price in such kind of scenarios? What kind of factors you need to consider? Okay. All right. Then after that, we have a decision regarding make versus buy. Make versus buy means whether I should produce a product in the factory or whether we should buy it from a vendor. Make in the factory or buy from outside. Similarly, should I sell a product immediately or should I process further and then sell it? Okay. Um, Usually, you can see these kind of things in let's say, okay. Uh, Suppose I am a real estate agent. I'm a builder. So I have an option here. I have built an apartment. Okay. And each what do you call them? Each flat, I have two options. One is to sell it without any kind of interior, without any kind of furniture, and the second one is sell a fully furnished flat. Right. So the first option is called as sell, second option is called as process further. You are done building the flat, constructing the flat is done. Beyond the construction, you are also processing it further, and you are saying that okay, I'll also do a fully furnishing of this particular flat before I sell it to the customer. So that could be a good example for sell versus process further. Similarly, should I add a particular segment or should I drop a segment? Like for example, Limca is there. Limca is a product within the Coca-Cola portfolio. So should Coca-Cola continue to produce Limca or should they stop producing Limca? So that's a question. So the decision should be depending upon the profitability of that particular division or that particular segment. Then we are also going to talk about capacity considerations. See, earlier we used to have a concept called as theory of constraints, but that has been removed from the syllabus. So now theory of constraints is not there. Capacity considerations are there. Capacity considerations means basically how many units can your particular production machinery or equipment handle. Okay, like for example, a process is there, it has to go through mission A, mission B, and mission C. So each of these missions have a different capacity that they can process in per day or per hour or something like that. So how do you consider that, and how do you determine how many units should be produced in a given time frame? That is called covered in capacity considerations. Then talking about pricing. See, pricing is one of the most critical area for the success of an organization. I can call that as a KPI also if I want, key performance indicator. See, because if I ask you uh, a typical Indian, a typical middle class Indian, if I ask them before going to a restaurant, how would you pick a restaurant? If I ask this question to 10 people, at least 6 to 7 people would say depending upon the budget, maybe more than that, right? So if I ask 100 people, at least 70-80% of the people might say that depending on the budget. So the success of your organization largely depends upon the pricing, particularly when the community of your customers is a price sensitive community like India. When somebody is offering CMA course for a very nominal fee, students get attracted to that, they'll make that payment, and then later they realize that the quality of the content is so bad, and then they'll start looking for a good faculty, and then they'll make the payment again. So they'll lose a lot of money. The first decision was a spur of a moment decision that was taken based on the price of the product rather than looking at the quality of the service, right? So, what are the different methods that can be used for pricing a product? Like, for example, market comparison, competitor comparison, cost plus margin, or else absorption costing, whatever different techniques you are using. Then there is something called as a target costing. Let's say, just a hypothetical example. So, let's say I want to sell a particular product uh, let's say a mobile phone. I want to sell it in the market for, let's say, $1,000, 83,000 rupees in Indian currency. So in this, I want a margin of, let's say, 200. That means my maximum cost is 800. Now what I'll do, I'll take the actual cost. See, these are my expectations, but actual cost turned out to be 850. Now there is a target gap of $50. I wanted to finalize the product in $800, but actually the cost of production went up to 850. So that means I have spent $50 more. So now my analysis will start. Why did I spend that $50 extra? Where can I do that cost reduction? How can I reduce my overall cost and fit within my target? So that is called as target costing. Then elasticity of demand is a basic economics topic. This is covered in +1 or intermediate first year itself. So price elasticity of demand. So if the demand increases, price increases. If the demand decreases, price decreases, right? So how much is the percentage change in demand for a percentage change in price? This is called as price elasticity of demand. If the price increases by 1%, how much would the overall demand be reduced? Or if the price decreased by 5%, how much will the demand increase? So the percentage to percentage relationship between price and demand is elasticity of demand. Then we have something called PLC, product life cycle. See, for any product, there is a life cycle. So first you will have research and development, R&D. Then after that, you will have a launch phase. You will launch your product in the market. Then there will be a growth phase. Means your product is growing. People are agreeing, accepting your product, and they are consuming your product or service. Then there you will reach a maturity phase, or else we can call it as a peak position. Most of your customers have already bought your product. You have no more new customers to attract with, and then after that you'll have your decline phase, which is the downfall of it. See, the maturity phase usually has a buffer here, a gap here. So when your first product is in a maturity phase, usually companies start looking for their next product. Like for example, iPhone 14 is there. So when iPhone 14 start reaching its maturity position, immediately iPhone 15 will be planned to be launched. So 14 sales will drop and 15 sales will automatically increase. So that is your product life cycle, and how different costs are incurred at different stages of the life we are going to discuss there. And the last one is the market structure considerations. You might have heard this monopoly market, monopolistic market, oligopoly market, different types of markets you might have learned in your economics classes. So how the pricing decisions would be varying depending upon the markets and depending upon the market conditions also. Usually in a heavy competitive market, the pricing would be more economical and feasible and affordable. But in a less saturated market, the prices would be monopoly based or dictatorship priced based would be there, right? So those are your topics of section C, decision analysis in CMA part 2. So I'll see you in the next lecture. Until then, keep smiling. Take care. Bye bye.